Welcome to another episode of Screenwriting Uncut. In this video, I want to talk about why free often costs you more. This video comes out of a response that I got to someone who saw a couple of my videos on YouTube, went to my website, saw the price of the product that I offer, the price alone, and said that it was a ripoff. Without doing any exploration, without looking into what I offer, without even really considering anything about what I do, looking at a price and assuming that whatever's on offer is comparable to a $10 book you might get on eBay or Amazon. And this was very frustrating to me at first. And it's when it occurred to me that we live in an era of the internet where there is so much content being poured out for free that it would appear that anything that has a cost associated with it is somehow less valuable than the thing that's being offered for free. And about a year ago, I was going to create a blog because, you know, there's this whole thing. I've created a system that has about 1 million words of content in it. If I took just Fast Screenplay alone and turned it into a number of blog posts, there would be over 2,000 blog posts within Fast Screenplay. It's a massive and comprehensive system. So part of me is very frustrated and doesn't want to have to blog, but the fact is that without sharing my ideas and who I am and what I'm about with you, you don't necessarily know that there is value in that system. And this is the reason that people blog. People blog to prove their value, more or less. They blog to share ideas and tips and strategies to help you see their value, usually to buy one of their services or just because it's a creative outlet for them or what have you. One of the big problems with blogging, the reason that I don't blog, is because blogging doesn't take into consideration where you are in the process. Over the past several years, I have reverse engineered the complete screenwriting process. And what I've realized is that to get the most out of it, to go the most effectively through the process, you have to start at the beginning and go through all the steps to the end. So many people put the cart before the horse. They focus on building their story or building their characters before they even understand why they're creating that thing in the first place. So that when they get to the middle of the rewrite, they're lost. I don't know how to fix it because I don't know really what I'm trying to say. I don't know really what's fundamentally, intrinsically wrong with it. When you focus on a process-based approach and you want to go through the process from the start, from the passion, from the motivation, from what you're trying to say to people, through the process of turning that into a story, turning that into characters, creating the message that most effectively conveys that, then you find that all that free stuff out there, while good and valuable and helpful once you have a framework, if you don't have a framework, it actually gets in your way. It disorients you. It takes you out of the focus of where you need to be and puts you into the focus of where the blogger wants you to be, the person that's giving you the tips. I'll give you an example. Let's say there's an article that you find online. You're just busy working on your screenplay, you're putting your story together, and there's this great article that comes from this blogger whose work you really like, and it's, 10 tips on how to write better dialogue. The problem is, if you're not focused specifically on your dialogue at this point in time, it pulls you out of wherever you currently are in the process and focuses you over here, and you go, wow, there's a lot of really good ideas, there's some great suggestions, some great techniques. I need to sort of go back and look through my dialogue and see how I can improve that. But that's really just a procrastination technique. That's really just taking you out of where you are and putting you where the blogger wants you to be. So then you add to the effect by looking at different tips and looking at all the free information you pull from the internet, and you're going to start having a brain that's overwhelmed with things that you must do, techniques that you must incorporate, ideas that you must infuse into your writing to make your writing better. A long time ago, about 10 years ago, I sort of realized that the internet was starting to get very big and busy. I started to realize that there's information overload out there. There's a ton hundreds, thousands of great screenwriting techniques out there, but you can't possibly incorporate them all without an effective process. So that process takes you through everything. A lot of people say they offer a process, but I created Fast Screenplay because nobody had ever really offered a process before. There really is not a screenwriting process-based approach out there. And that's what Fast is, and that's what makes Fast different. I'm not saying that as a sales pitch to you. I'm saying that that's what differentiates what I do from what everybody else does. If you have a framework, then once you have a framework, then once you understand the framework and how to go through that framework, then you get a blog article on some great dialogue tips and you go, this is fantastic. I'm going to drop it in at the dialogue place. You find some great ideas on theme or on story structure or on building subtext or characters or comedy or whatever it is, you know how to apply it to your process. And unfortunately, anyone who offers this kind of stuff out there has to have some way to pay the bills in the meantime. And so the price of something may actually be more valuable than the free thing that's going to distract you and take you off target. So I say this kind of to justify what I do, but the fact of the matter is what I do is a tiny fraction of its actual value. And people look at the price and they compare it to what's free. And that completely takes you out of what you need to understand about the process and takes you further away from getting to where you're trying to go. So hopefully this helps you understand that not everything with a price tag is a bad thing, and not everything that's free is worth more. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you for listening, and feel free to give me ideas and thoughts in the comments about how you feel about this, and we'll take it from there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.